And I must thank the organizers for holding this very important webinar. This is an issue we want the world to know about. I have prepared a note since I had to keep myself confined to the time frame suggested by the organizers. The idea of academic freedom, sadly, has become redundant in India. The primary reason for it is the complete takeover of all institutions by the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, which is the political wing of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS, a fascist organization which works in the name of Hindu supremacy. It is not only Hindu supremacy it aims to establish, it wants to subjugate and, if possible, eliminate Muslim and Christian identities in India. The last 7 years have seen progressive escalation of violence on Muslims and Christians using laws, administrative machinery, ideological campaign, and physical assaults. We are talking about attack on academic freedom in a context in which Muslims have almost lost their freedom to express themselves, associate, and have their own way of living. Academic freedom is the freedom of academics to frame, design, and teach their courses free of any extra academic pressure, freedom to choose their research areas and pursue them, and not be deprived of institutional support for ideological or political reasons. It requires institutional autonomy in all areas. It also means the freedom of the academics to participate in public conversation without any fear of penal action from the state or the institutions they work at. Collaboration with other institutions and academics should be a decision taken without any political fear. If we look at the Indian academic scene today, the situation is bleak in all areas mentioned above. Academic spaces are controlled by appointing vice chancellors or directors who toe the line of the state and follow the ideological diktat of the RSS, many a times without even being asked. The apex regulating body in the field of higher education in India, the University Grants Commission, wants all universities to adopt the curriculum and syllabus drafted by it with the provision of only 20% of it to be decided by the respective universities. You can understand that this is centrally controlling all academic programs of all the universities. The Education Ministry keeps sending circulars through the University Grants Commission to the higher education institutions, asking them to hold seminars or programs on themes decided by it. Rules have been framed depriving the teachers of having and expressing their own opinion if it goes against the state. They cannot publish without the permission of the university authorities, especially if it is critical of the state policies. Many central universities in India, which are centrally funded, have adopted these service rules. Not only that, they are forbidden to make any collective representation even about academic and logistical issues. Recently, 3 teachers of a central university in Bihar were issued show cause notice for having written collectively asking for internet facility on the campus for online classes. Before that, a general warning was issued after one of the faculty members published an article critical of the ideology of the ruling party. At this point of time, most of the universities have vice chancellors who have some organizational link with the RSS or its affiliates. They create an atmosphere which is so intimidating that the teachers prefer to remain silent. Secondly, the muscle power of the student wing of the RSS, known as the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, is unleashed. There are scores of examples of the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad attacking seminars, film screenings, theater programs, beating up the participants, lodging criminal cases against the organizers and speakers for hurting their sentiments or alleging anti-nationalist tendencies behind such activities. This violence spreads to classrooms too. At the Central University of Kerala was suspended by the university after the ABVP made a complaint against his class lecture on fascism. He was forced to tender apology to get the suspension revoked. There are scores of such examples from across India. It has become nearly impossible for academics to hold seminars as the list of participants is scrutinized by the authorities and unsuitable names struck off. We know about incidents in which invitations have been withdrawn, talk seminars cancelled. You cannot discuss issues with which RSS or ruling party, about which the RSS or ruling party is sensitive. Readings are censored and removed, which fall out of favor of the people affiliated to or willing to please the RSS. For example, last month's texts by two feminist Dalit writers from Tamil Nadu and Mahashweta Devi were removed by the authorities of the University of Delhi from the undergraduate syllabus of the Department of English, despite protests from the faculty, since they were found to be politically incorrect. Last year, the government issued an order asking the universities to first get the approval of the government before holding any seminar or academic activity in which scholars from outside India were participating, or universities or centers from outside India were collaborating. After an international uproar, it was withdrawn. But now the universities seem to have started doing it informally. 2 months by university in Madhya Pradesh, a central province of India, was forced to withdraw from a seminar organized jointly with a US-based university, as the university insisted that the head of the department should have obtained permission from the central government. It needs to be mentioned that it was done after the ABVP objected to some names in the list of the speakers. Another aspect which is generally ignored is of publishing. It has become extraordinarily difficult in India for academics to publish books or papers on subjects which are politically or ideologically sensitive. A long legal vetting of the manuscript has become a norm, and very often the writers are asked to remove portions which might attract violent attention from the RSS affiliates or legal cases by them. I think one of the panelists would bear me out that now you have Indian edition and US edition of the same book. Finally, this regime has successfully defamed the very act of intellection. University like the JNU or Delhi University have been portrayed as dens of anti-nationals. Teachers and students have been painted as idlers who waste the taxpayers' hard-earned money. The act of critical thinking is seen as a seditious act, which is also anti-national. The Prime Minister himself mocked higher education by saying that it is hard work that counts or matters and not hard work. Generally, universities are seen as being sympathetic to Muslims and the underprivileged, and the majoritarian anger is stoked against them. In this commonsensical frame, it is very easy to delegitimize, outlaw even a semblance of academic freedom. I stop here. Thank you very much.